Hello everyone. Welcome back to the Fast API series. In this video, we'll dive into the Fast API response model. Fast API response model looks very simple, but sometimes we get some errors, like mostly 500 internal server error. So in this video, I will try to explain, or I will do some kind of a comparison between return types versus response model, why Fast API behaves in a different way in different scenarios, and how to safety control your Fast API response. So in the first part, we will look into we are not going to use any kind of a fast API response model. We are just using simple Python return type annotation. So if you look at this particular example, so I have created a simple I've imported fast API, Pydantic base model and created the fast API object. And here I'm created a kind of a Pydantic employee class. I've defined these fields and I'm creating a post to create an item and to get an employees. So here we have the name, Saurabh and Rahul, salary and designation. So not what I'm going to do, I'm going to run this particular code. This code is not going to give us any kind of an error. So if I just click on this one and if I run, it's going to be very smooth. I click on this part and you see here, I have got the get and post response. So I will just go with the get. I'm going to try it out and I'm going to click on the execute. So see, we got all the details here in the response body, name, designation, salary for both Saurav and Rahul. But now what I'm going to do, I'm going to change this particular part. I'm going to add a code where I'm going to add an employee named Vishal, but for Vishal, the salary is missing. Now I'm going to save this one and I'm going to um, I'm going to see that whether I'm going to get an error or not. So here, if you see, if I click on this part and if I just refresh the page and if I try to do the get response again and if I try to click on execute, I'm getting an error, internal server error. So I'm going to show you why I'm getting this internal server. So this internal server error is coming because I have not specified the salary. And this error is not coming from Fast API. Please remember, this error is not coming from Fast API. It is coming because from the Pydantic model. You see here, the error is coming from the Pydantic model validation error because we have not used any response model here. So this is the difference. When we use the response model of the Fast API, I will show you the next code. So then the error or validation will come from the Fast API. But here, since we are using the Pydantic based model, so the error is coming from the Pydantic. Okay. So here we are simply using a return type for the return type as list employees. Okay, so this is basically a kind of a Python type hint. So fast API is not being enforced here at the runtime. So it is usually this type of code is usually basically for the kind of an ID help static type checking. Okay, and more from the code readability. But let me show you the next code where I have used instead of just using a simple return type, I'm using the model parameter. So the everything of the every part of the code remains the same. But what I'm doing here is like I have used the response model instead of just simply using the return type as list employee. I'm using the response model. Okay, and then it's and then I'm trying to run this particular code. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to run this code again and enter. So I will show you the difference. Let me click on this particular. So you see, we have got this one. I will click on the get, try it out, and click on execute. So you see, we got a very good response. Okay, 200 response code, no error. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to include I will put some error. Okay, I'm going to I've added a new employee Vishal, but for him, as usual, the salary is missing. And when I do Control S and restart the server, um, then you see here, let me refresh this one. And if I try it out here, click on execute. So I'm getting the internal server error, but this time, instead of getting the error from the Pydantic, we are getting the error from the fast API because we have used the response model. So here, what happens is like the fast API is being reinforced here, and we can say that through the error, fast API is throwing the error because salary is missing, and um, This is where the fast API becomes very much powerful. Okay, so uh, so this is how when we use the response model, it tells the fast API to validate the output. It will try to filter the extra fields. It will try to create, the most important thing is that it will try to create a clean open API docs. Okay, so I would suggest whenever you are creating a response model for the using the fast API, please use the response model whenever you are creating a fast API response. Okay, because it will be very much easy for you to validate the your response. Now, next thing is let me stop this particular Control C. Let me go to the next code. So here it's the same thing. We are using the response model. Everything remains the same. I've imported the libraries. Let me remove this. And I have created the fast API object. I've created the employee, and then I've created a kind of a database, small database where I have the Saurabh, Vishal, and Rahul. Okay, and these are the fields. For Saurabh, it's name, salary, designation. For Vishal, name, salary, name, designation, salary, and department. And same for Rahul, but it has team members. Now, what I'm going to do here is like I'm using the response model as usual. We have seen, but here I have also included some of the parameters like response model include and response model exclude. So when I say response model include, I'm including these only fields for the employees, name and designation. And this field I don't want in my response, which is salary. So this way we can structure our response, what we want to show, what we don't want to show. We can do a kind of a filtering or encoding in our responses. So and if the employee is not present there, so then it's going to give us a 404 error. So let me run this particular code, which is 24, and enter. So now I'm going to click on this particular part. So here I got this get. I'm going to try it out. So now I'm going to give the name of the employee. So I'm going to say Saurav and I'm going to execute. Now see here, I'm only getting the name and designation because we have only included name and designation. So whether if it doesn't matches, so it's going to give us 404 error. Let's say if I want to say Rahul. Okay. So if I say Rahul, first of all, Rahul also, we are going to get only the name and designation. You see, name and designation we got. So we can do the filtering like this way. So let's say if I want only designation and I don't want this name. So let me control X. Let me put it here. I don't want it. I just want this particular thing. Okay. Now I am going to save it. Control S. And now I'm going to refresh it again. Now we are going to only get the designation of the employee. So let's say if I put Vishal and click on execute, you see only designation is coming. Similar way for Saurav also. So this way we can include and exclude the fields for our different employees. And then we have for Rahul. So for him also, we are going to get only the designation. So this way we can do the filtering using the include and exclude parameter. So we can remove the unwanted fields, protect the sensitive values. Like if we don't want to show the salary of the employees, we can keep them as a hidden. So this is not a kind of manual filtering which we can do, but it's a kind of a fast API. It can handle it for you. Now, the next thing is we are going to talk about is the response model exclude unset. So everything remains the same. And let me stop this server first. So here what we are going to do is like we have put a response model as employee, and here we have used a parameter called as response model exclude unset, which is equal to true. So what happens here is it removes the fields when we are using this as it is equal to true. So it's going to remove the fields which are never being set in the object. So like for example, we don't have designation which is being set. It's none. We don't have department. It is being none. Salary is also none. Okay. So the values which is being not set, let's say, for example, we have only name and salary which is being defined here, but other fields are not being defined here. So in this case, what will happen? What's going to happen? It's going to only it is going to remove the fields which were not set in the object. Okay, this is very useful when returning a kind of a partial object. So let me run this. So when I run this particular code, you will only see the name and salary. So let me, because it's already true here, so let me clear it, and I'm going to run this particular, enter. Now I click on this particular document. I'm going to open this. I'm going to click on this one, try it out and try to execute. So you see here only name and salary came. But what I'm going to do now, I'm going to put this as false. If I put it as false and I save it, so then if I refresh this one, and then if I click on the try it out and click on execute, you see I'm getting all the fields now. Instead of only name and salary, it's giving us all the fields which are null also. So this way, when we are using this response model exclude unset, we can remove those fields which were never set in the object. Now, the next thing is the another parameter is on similar lines. So, which is the response model exclude none. So, which means that it removes fields whose value is none. So, like for example, all these fields designation and department, it's going to give us, it's going to return null. So, it's only going to show the name, salary, and department. Okay. So let's try this out. Enter. And now I'm going to click on this particular thing and I'm going to try it out. So here I click on the execute. You see here, I'm getting only name, salary, and department. The fields only which has non-null values. We have excluded the null values. Okay. But if I make it as a false, save it. So now if I refresh it, I'm going to get all the values. See, I'm getting all the values. Null values also I'm getting it. So this is the how we can remove the null values from the payload. Next is we have something called similar called as response model by alias. So here, what's happened is like if we park it as true, so here our name is employee name, okay, employee salary and model config. Okay, sorry, not model config is something else, but we have the name and we have provided the other name of employee name as only name and only salary. Okay, so what happens here is by default, when we run this particular code, let me show you. Enter. So by default, it's going to give us the value as name and salary. It's going to take the alias name because it's the response model by alias is set as true. So let me click on this one and show you, try it out, execute. You see, it's coming as name and salary because it's taking the alias name, but actual name is employee ID name and employee salary. Okay, but if I put this as a false, it's going to and save it and rerun it and refresh this page and click on try it out and execute. So I'm getting the employee name and employee salary. It's not taking the alias name. So this was all about the fast API response model. You can play around with the code, and if you have any questions related to this, please let me know in the chat in the comment section. And till then, bye everyone.